Hey everyone, welcome back to BikeBeat. Today we're talking about one of the most exciting releases from Yamaha for 2026, the new Yamaha XSR 400. This bike has been on the radar of enthusiasts for a while now, and Yamaha has finally given us a machine that captures the spirit of its legendary SR heritage while bringing it into the modern era. It's not just a new motorcycle, it's a revival of an idea that motorcycles can be simple, stylish, and fun without being overloaded with tech or price tags that scare away everyday riders. The first thing that grabs you about the 2026 Yamaha XSR 400 is its look. It's instantly recognizable as part of the XSR family, carrying the same design language seen in the XSR 700 and XSR 900. But this 400 has its own charm, smaller, tighter, and somehow more personal. The round LED headlamp with a brushed metal bezel, the teardrop fuel tank with smooth curves, and the minimal rear section all make it a visual nod to classic motorcycles of the 70s and 80s. Yamaha hasn't gone overboard with fake vintage elements, it feels authentic. The proportions are spot on, compact but not toy-like, retro but with enough modern edge to fit perfectly on today's roads. The build quality looks impressive too: clean welds, sturdy frame paint, and a finish that feels premium even before you ride it. At the heart of the XSR 400 is a single-cylinder, four-stroke engine displacing just under 400 cubic centimeters. It's air-cooled and fuel-injected, designed to meet modern emission standards while still delivering that raw, mechanical feel that makes single-cylinder bikes so enjoyable. The engine produces around 25 horsepower and close to 27 Nm of torque, which may not sound huge on paper, but it's how it delivers that power that matters. The response is crisp and direct. Twist the throttle, and the bike jumps forward with a satisfying surge. You feel every pulse of the cylinder. It's not the kind of power that overwhelms, but it's plenty for real-world riding. In city traffic, it's lively and easy to control. On open roads, it hums along comfortably between 80 and 110 km per hour, right in its sweet spot. The transmission is a 5-speed gearbox, and Yamaha's shift quality, as always, is excellent. The clutch action is light, and each shift feels mechanical but smooth, adding to that analog charm. You won't find a quickshifter here or multiple riding modes, but you won't miss them either. The simplicity is refreshing. It's just you, the bike, and the road, the way riding was meant to be. Handling-wise, the XSR 400 strikes a great balance between agility and comfort. The chassis is a steel double cradle frame, which gives the bike a solid feel without adding unnecessary weight. The front uses conventional telescopic forks, while the rear runs twin shock absorbers, keeping with the retro theme. Yamaha has tuned the suspension to handle a mix of conditions. It's soft enough to soak up potholes and rough streets, but firm enough to stay composed when you push it through corners. You won't be scraping pegs at every turn, but the feedback is communicative and honest. It's a motorcycle that encourages confidence from the moment you swing a leg over. The seat height sits around 785 mm, which means most riders can flatfoot comfortably. At roughly 175 kg wet, the XSR 400 is light enough to maneuver easily in tight spaces or parking lots. For beginners, that's a big plus, and for experienced riders, it makes the bike playful. You can throw it around, flick it through city corners, and it just feels natural. The upright riding position gives a clear view ahead, with wide handlebars and a slightly forward stance. It's comfortable enough for long rides but compact enough for everyday commuting. Braking is handled by a front disc and either a rear drum or disc depending on the market, with ABS as standard. The braking feel is predictable and smooth enough bite when you need it, but not grabby or abrupt. Fuel economy is excellent, as you'd expect from a single-cylinder Yamaha. Riders can expect around 30 to 35 km per liter, depending on how they ride. That means you'll get a solid range from its modestly sized fuel tank, perfect for city runs and weekend rides alike. Let's talk about the sound and feel, because this is where Yamaha really nails the XSR character. The single-cylinder engine gives off that classic thump, deep, rhythmic, and satisfying. You feel a subtle vibration through the pegs and bars, just enough to remind you that you're riding something alive. Modern bikes sometimes feel too smooth, too disconnected. The XSR 400 brings back that raw emotion that makes you fall in love with motorcycling all over again. The instrumentation blends old and new nicely. You get a round dial cluster with analog-style speedometer paired with a small digital screen showing fuel, gear indicator, trip, and other essentials. It's simple, clean, and fits the retro-modern vibe perfectly. Lighting is all LED, but Yamaha has cleverly designed the housings to look classic. Even the indicators are styled like old-school units but glow bright and crisp with modern efficiency. The XSR 400 isn't overloaded with electronics, and that's exactly the point. You won't find traction control, fancy ride modes, or adjustable ABS here. Instead, you get a straightforward, mechanical motorcycle that prioritizes connection over computation. This is a machine that rewards skill and involvement. It makes you feel like part of the process, not a passenger to software. That's a rare thing these days. As for price, Yamaha is positioning the XSR 400 as an accessible entry into its heritage lineup. While official global pricing varies by market, expect it to land somewhere around $6,000 to $7,000, or the equivalent local currency. That places it right in line with bikes like the Honda CB350, Royal Enfield Classic 350, and the Kawasaki W175C, but the Yamaha brings its own identity to the table. It's not trying to imitate anyone. It's simply being what it is, a Yamaha with soul. Now, who's this bike for? Honestly, almost anyone who appreciates motorcycles with personality. If you're a beginner looking for your first real bike, this will treat you kindly. It's predictable, comfortable, and not intimidating. If you're a seasoned rider who already has a big bike but wants something lighter, simpler, and more engaging for everyday use, the XSR 400 is perfect. And if you're a fan of custom builds, this bike is a blank canvas. Yamaha knows its customers love to personalize, so they've made sure the XSR 400 has endless mod potential, from cafe racer conversions to scrambler kits and tracker builds. There's also something deeply satisfying about how Yamaha has stayed true to its roots. The XSR 400 doesn't chase horsepower wars or tech trends. Instead, it focuses on delivering a ride that feels pure, emotional, and stylish. The materials, the detailing, the way the light catches the tank curves, it's obvious that Yamaha's design team put heart into this machine. On the road, the XSR 400 feels alive. It's not about speed, it's about sensation. You feel the wind, the throb of the engine, the subtle feedback from the road. It's an immersive ride, one that keeps you smiling every time you twist the throttle. The bike feels planted, composed, and just right. It's the kind of machine that reminds you why riding is special. Are there downsides? Sure, a few. If you're chasing top-end performance or high-speed touring, this isn't your bike. It's also not packed with tech, so if you love digital dashboards and electronic assists, you might miss them. But for most riders, those aren't deal breakers. What the XSR 400 offers instead is honesty. It's a bike that makes riding simple again. Thanks for watching BikeBeat. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Yamaha XSR 400, hit that like button, subscribe for more reviews, and drop a comment below. Would you pick the XSR over a Royal Enfield or Honda? What color would you choose? I'll see you in the next one. Ride safe, ride smart, and as always, keep the passion alive.